Hey you guys, my name is Mara Sullivan. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today's video is going to be about Jenifer Lewis, aka the mother of Black Hollywood. If you don't know who Jenifer Lewis is, and I cannot imagine there's anyone watching who does not know who Jenifer Lewis is, especially if you're Black, okay? If you are Black and you don't know who Jenifer Lewis is, Black card revoked, okay? You have so much homework to do if you do not know who she is. But today's video is going to be lessons I've learned from her story, takeaways that I want to share with you guys that I believe any and everyone can learn just from things that she shared in movies, interviews, things that I have read and watched about her. I am doing a few videos here on my channel on my favorite influential women over 60. I have become known as the grandma in my friend group. People who know me personally always refer to me as a grandma. I'm in bed by 9 p.m. I'm a chronic tea drinker. I still listen to the radio. I still read a physical newspaper. Just so many things about me and about my lifestyle are that of someone older than me, the music I listen to, things I'm into. I like to live a pretty chill, retired kind of lifestyle. In my head, I'm at the old folks home already. I just love to just live a retired kind of vibe lifestyle. One of my favorite hobbies is to learn the stories behind the scenes of people who I admire, influential people who I look up to. That is what I do for fun. Basically, I'm such a nerd. And so I love doing videos like this where I can share things that I've learned about a few of my favorite people. If you have not seen my video on Cher, go check that out. There are so many lessons to be learned from Cher's life. She has an incredible story. And just like Cher, Jenifer Lewis is someone who I have always loved and admired and really look up to, and has so many takeaways and important life lessons that we can all learn from. The biggest thing, or the biggest factor, I believe, about Jenifer Lewis's life, aside from, of course, the iconic characters that she has played, her off camera life, or biggest thing about her off camera life, is her mental health. She is very, very open, honest about her mental health journey, her struggles with mental health. Trigger warning, her story does have a lot of depression, does touch on abuse, her journey to healing and things like that, disorders that she struggled with. And so I will be touching on those a little bit. If that's something that might be triggering for you, just a heads up. But she's been through so much. She basically said that for the first 35 years of her life, she was depressed, which none of us would know looking at Jenifer Lewis. Like, depression and Jenifer Lewis don't even belong in the same sentence. Like, she is someone who just radiates joy. But something that she's really huge about opening up about and being honest about is that she was born with bipolar disorder. That did not get diagnosed for most of her life, at least most of her young adult life. And so she didn't really get professional help until I believe she was in her 30s. And so she said the first 35 years of her life, she was literally depressed. She also is very open about sharing her story, being sexually assaulted as a child by her pastor. And so she says that she knew what she wanted to do with her life when she was in church, singing on the choir. She loved being in front of people. She loved the praise that she got from the congregation. And so the church for her is the source of her finding who she was as a person, but also the source of one of her greatest tragedies or downfalls, at the hands of the pastor of all people. And so she's very open and honest about that. I highly recommend reading her book. She has a few books, but definitely start with The Mother of Black Hollywood. She really just gets into every single thing you need to know about her life and her story. I love when she was promoting this book on all outlets, at all interviews she did promoting the book, she would hold up the book and be like, y'all know I did not write this book for money, okay? Y'all know I got money, okay? Like, she's so honest and just so real, and that's what we love about her so much. She's like, I don't need the money from this book. I'm just sharing my story. Y'all know I got money. Like, I'm good. But go definitely get the book, read the book if you have not already. It is absolutely incredible. It's what most of what I'm going to be saying is like little cliff notes from the book, and just from tons of interviews and things that I've watched on her sharing her story. But mental health is a huge, 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 huge part of her story. She says that most of the extrovertedness about her personality, again, the thing that we all know her for, that like loud, very hyper type of personality, she says that in real life, that's how she is. Like that's how she acts. And she said that she didn't know, like I said, until adulthood, that was a part of her bipolar disorder. And so she said that as a kid, she was kind of known as Crazy Jenny because she's always been like that. Like what we see is how she really is in real life. That's why she plays those characters so well, because she brings who she is to those characters. But she's very open in saying that, people in her life, people just, and I think this is true for a lot of Black communities, that's just how they are. Like that is one of a phrase you will hear time and time again in our community is, that's just how they are. Or, yeah, she's crazy. We just deal with it. Or even referring to yourself, like, that's just how I am. Like, everyone knows I'm like this. And sometimes that's not normal. Sometimes how you are or how someone else is acting, yeah, we might make fun of them or call them crazy, or just be like, that's just how they are. But sometimes there's something deeper, something else going on there that needs to be addressed. And that is what she is very, very, I guess, she hones in on making sure that she uses her platform to make sure that other people really address the things that they need help with. And so she says that it took her a long time to figure out, to find the right therapist. One of her main sayings is that healing is not linear, which is so true. And I think that, a lot of times we want that quick fix. She said it took her a very long time to find the right therapist. It took her a very long time to be put on the right medication that worked for her. And, not just finding the right therapist or the right meds that might work for you, that takes time, but also healing itself takes time. I can speak for myself personally going through grief. If you have not seen any of my other videos or listened to my podcast or anything, go check those out. I get more in depth in other videos and on my podcast about my grief journey. I did lose my mom in 2024. I was 25 years old, so a year ago, basically. And so I'm 26 now. But, I can say going through grief, it is not something that you get over. I think a lot of traumatic, very hard things that happen to us, it's easy to think that we do one thing and then we'll be fine. And that is not how life works. That's definitely not how healing works. And so anyone who has, had to go on any kind of healing journey, whether it's through traditional therapy, through medication, through other forms of therapy, there really is no one and done quick fix solution to anything. A lot of times things just take time. You learn to deal with things, and we learn healthy ways to cope and different coping mechanisms and forms of therapy that work for us. But most of the time, something's just not fixed. You know what I mean? Losing my mom is never something I'm going to get over. It's not something that I'm going to, not think about again one day. It's just a part of who I am. It's something that I accept. It's something that I learn to live with, but it's not something that you really get over. And a lot of things in life are like that, especially a lot of hard things, traumatic things that we go through are like that. There is no quick fix. So I love, love, love that a huge part of her story and a huge part of her message that she shares with people is that healing is not linear. Another huge takeaway from Jenifer Lewis' story is that she's very open and honest about sharing that she has been out of work many, many times throughout her career, many, many times throughout her life. This is something I don't think a lot of actors talk enough about, because I've heard Meryl Streep say the same thing. I will be doing a video very soon on Meryl Streep. She is one of my favorite influential women over 60. But it's something that I've heard her say, but it's not something I hear people say often in Hollywood. A lot of times when you are finished a movie, a project, a show, if you don't have something immediately lined up, a lot of times you are out of work until you get booked for a next show, project, movie. And that doesn't always happen in a few days. It really doesn't always happen in a few weeks. sometimes it takes months and maybe even a few years until you are able to get casted in a new project. And so she's very, open and honest about sharing that part of the business and that part of Hollywood and a part of her career. And she talks about being jealous of, you know, experiencing jealousy and experiencing comparison when it comes to people getting roles that she wanted and being overlooked for certain, projects, and just straight up being told no. Anyone in show business is going to be told no thousands of times. Like it's the nature of the beast. Okay, we all know that about the entertainment industry, but you really have to have really really thick skin. And I think that if Jenifer Lewis doesn't have anything else, she has fight in her. Like I think one of the main words I would use to describe her is a fighter. She does not take anything lying down, as the saying goes. Like this woman, again, the characters that she plays, really, a lot of that is who she is. She says that she brings all of her, or at least some of her, to her characters. And again, I believe that's why we love the roles that she plays so much. But she's really big on making sure that that things take time. And she's also really big on saying that she never doubted herself. She's never doubted herself or her talent, even when she doesn't get the roles that she wants, even when she's told no, even when she, has to watch someone that she might be friends with be cast in a role that she auditioned for. Like, she's really just open about that kind of stuff. And again, as you get older, you're able to be more open about that kind of stuff too, because you just don't care, so I think that it's important to remember that things take time. That is a huge part of her story. One of her major, probably the number one thing that I took away from her is the quote that she has: "The elevator to success is broken. You have to take the stairs." And what that means is that, again, like I was talking earlier about healing, a lot of times we just want that quick fix, especially in our microwave society. We want that instant gratification, and life does not work like that. Most things take time, and especially most things that are of good quality. Jenifer Lewis is very, very big on making sure that she takes the time, or has taken the time, to perfect her craft. I think that is becoming a lost art in this entitled society. I think a lot of people my age, I'm 26, a lot of people my age and younger, some older, but a lot of people my age and younger have this really, really, and I see it just in my everyday life, people that I know and people that I work with, there is a sense of entitlement of like, I deserve this now. Like like a 2-year-old, like it's mine. And life doesn't work like that. You just got here. You know what I mean? Like we just got here. I'm 26. What do I know? You know what I mean? So it's like, because of social media and because we see that success at such a young age, it makes us feel entitled to it, or it makes a lot of us feel entitled to it. And that is not how things work. A lot of things take time. And even when things do happen overnight, we all have seen that flash in the pan, one hit wonder kind of thing. Normally, when those things happen, they do not last. We can all think of an artist or even a coworker who you might know personally. We can all think of someone who had instant success, and now we don't even know who they are anymore, or it didn't last, because things that last are things that are of good quality, and they usually take longer to get. And I think that, she, like I said, Jenifer Lewis, is a huge part of her story, is being okay with things taking time, being okay with, being told no. That's just more opportunity for you to go back and study. That's more opportunity for you to go back and rehearse and to practice as much as you can to get better. Any no or any time that you have to spend waiting for something, you're supposed to be working during that time. You're supposed to be studying during that time. You're supposed to be learning during that time. You're supposed to be perfecting your craft during that time. You're supposed to be taking that time to get better. Don't just stop what you're doing or stop pursuing what it is that you want just because you were told no. It's really important to go back, go back to the drawing board, keep rehearsing, keep practicing, keep studying, keep learning about what it is you're trying to do. That way, when you do get the opportunity, and you will, when you do get that opportunity, you're prepared for it. Because a lot of things, we don't get what we want when we want them because we're not ready for them. That's just the law of the universe. Like a lot of things we do not get, when we want them, because we're not ready. At the time, we don't know that. But, that's why I love studying people's lives who are older than me, because they tell these stories of looking back and being like, I am so glad. I can look back in my life now and be glad that there are things that I wanted to work out at the time that I'm so glad did not work out, especially as a teenager and like in my early 20s. And I can say that even at 26 years old. So I know that by the time you get 50, 60, 70 years old, there are a lot of things looking back on your life that you're going to be able to look back and be like, I am so glad I did not get that thing, that I really wanted it when I wanted it, because I was not ready for it. It would not have been good for me at the time. And so it's really important to make sure that you always remember that things take time. Anything worth having usually takes longer, and it is so much more important to do something right and let it take longer than to do it wrong and it only lasts for 5 seconds. You know what I mean? So it's like it's really important to just, if something is taking longer, let it. It's supposed to. Take your time, give yourself the space. Like I said, perfect your craft, be working in the background, be working behind the scenes, because at some point you're going to get what you want. It's just when you're ready for it. And so it's really important. It's better, like the tortoise and the hare. It's better to have something done right that's going to take you longer than to crash out because you needed it instantly and then it didn't get it. We can all think of a product that we bought that was cheap, and we bought it because we could have it instantly because it didn't cost that much, but it didn't last that long either. Had you just saved up and made the investment, it might have taken you longer to save the money for that thing, but it was an investment and it lasts you a lot longer than the cheap thing that you bought lasted you. And so life is the same way, and a lot of things in your life are going to work like that. It's just so much better to make that long-term investment, let something take a little bit longer and do it the right way, than to just be cheap about it and it doesn't last. So that is a huge part of the message that she shares with everyone. Like I said, she's very open and being honest about her bipolar disorder, very open and honest about the assault she faced as a kid. When I look at Jenifer Lewis, I think Black excellence. And I think that that's something that's starting to fade a little bit, is that like idea of like being I'm Black and I'm proud kind of thing. And because we used to only be successful within our own communities, and now Black people have so much more opportunities and things like that. And so it's not really, I don't know, you don't hear that much about that like Black excellence anymore. But when I look at her, I automatically think of that. And she's someone who has so much respect for her craft. It goes back into the letting things take time thing and perfecting and mastering what it is that you do. She has so much respect for her craft. And I think, like I said, I think we're losing that, not just in our community, but just in the entertainment industry, and a lot of, on YouTube, a lot of like the influencer industry. People don't take the time to perfect what it is that they do. And I think, like I was saying before, there's a downside and an upside to things happening overnight. Because when things take longer to happen, you usually have more practice. You usually have more experience. And so there's so much, I think a part of the reason why she's such a phenomenal actress, and just person in general, she really talks a lot about having respect for your craft and respect for the audience that you are serving. So whatever role you do for a living, even if you're not on camera, even if you are not in show business, is very important. Whatever you do for a living, whatever career you have, whatever job you have, to respect what it is that you do, even if it's not your dream job, even if it's something that you do not want to be doing forever. I know what it's like to work a job that you hate, okay? But it's really important to respect, what it is that you're doing, and respect who it is that you're serving, even when it's not ideal, even when it's not what you want, because the thing that you want is going to happen. But, it's like you can't get the big thing without the little thing. There's a Bible verse about that I can't remember, but I'm going to leave on the screen. Uh, you gotta, what is it saying? Like, you have to be faithful over a few things and he'll make you ruler over many. There we go. I was like, I do read my Bible. I gotta remember that. But be faithful over a few things and he'll make you ruler over many. Same idea. She's really, really big on having respect for what it is that you do. And it goes, again, when I look at her, I see Black excellence. And she's really big on not just having respect for what you do and for who you are serving. She's really big on having respect for your life. She has faced a lot of challenges in her life. She had a very, very life threatening fall in Africa. She fell off of a balcony and almost did not make it. And so she had to learn how to walk again, suffered major, major, major injuries from that. And she has so much, of course, when you go through anything that traumatic, but she had already been through so much before. I feel like her story is, again, just a fight. Like her story, so much about her story is like, she just keeps going. She just keeps swimming. But she's really big on having respect for life in general. So remembering that this is a privilege, and as cheesy as it is, somebody did not wake up this morning and somebody is not going to make it to bed tonight. Life is a privilege, and she's really, really big on making sure that you respect your life, not just respecting yourself, because there is a difference. I believe when you respect your life, you are respecting life in general. You're respecting the air that you breathe, the earth that you live in, the space that you are in. I love that quote by Oprah Winfrey: you are responsible for the energy that you bring into a room. I believe that when you respect your life, you have just more of an, you take better care of things, you know? Like I said before, you're not just rushing all the time. You're not just me, 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 but you're able to like really take the time and express the gratitude for everything around you. As cheesy as it is, it definitely works because it's a game changer for mindset. When you respect life, not just your life, but life in general, you're going to be able to see people, more clearly. You're going to be able to have more empathy. You're going to be able to just, I don't know another word for respect, but you're going to be able, I'm an English major and I can't think of a synonym for respect. I'm so sorry. But you're going to just be able to take better care of things is the only way that I could describe it. And you're going to just have more respect. I don't know why I really cannot think of a synonym for respect. So bad. Please comment a synonym down below. But she's really, really big on having respect for life and respecting your own life. And she's also huge on not letting life drive you crazy, remembering that you drive your life. You are in the driver's seat of your life and do not sit on the sidelines of your life. She is huge, huge, huge on that. Anything that you listen to on hers, any interview she's ever done, that is the number one thing she always says. Do not sit on the sidelines of your life. Life is fast. It is very easy to let life pass you by. It is very easy to self-sabotage and to let fear hold you back and to wait for someone to come save you. That is another huge part of her story. Not waiting for anyone to come save you, especially, like I said, with everything that she has been through. And yes, there were people to blame for a lot of what she's been through. The actual pastor of a church was someone to blame for a lot of her trauma. But even when there are people to blame, and in a lot of our lives, there's going to be someone who we want to blame. It is up to you at the end of the day to get the help that you need to move forward and to live a better, healthier, well-rounded life, to live the life that you want. Because those people are not thinking about you. Anybody that did you wrong, they are gone on about their business. They are not thinking about you. And so it's very important for you to remember that you are responsible for you. And a lot of, the message that Jenifer Lewis preaches is holding yourself accountable for your life and for yourself and for how you move forward. Not even worrying about other people. You got to get laser focused and remember that you are responsible for you. When I think of Jenifer Lewis, again, just that huge major personality, so much of her and so much about, her life story is just showing up, is just being in the room, to just give yourself the opportunity to be seen, to be heard. I had a teacher in college who used to say 90% of life is just showing up. And I have learned that you do not, any successful person will tell you, you do not have to be the smartest, you do not have to be the most educated, you do not have to be the most qualified. 90% of life is just showing up. When people see that you show up and that you show up on time and that you hold yourself to a high standard, which Jenifer Lewis is also really big on, holding yourself to a high standard, that idea of Black excellence or just excellence in general. When you do that, people notice. There are a lot of people who just don't even show up. Like, think about people in your life who say they're going to do something and they just don't do it. Most of life is just showing up, and the rest is going to take care of itself eventually. But if you show up, if you are consistent, so many people quit before they reach their full potential. So many people quit right before they get that opportunity that they really wanted the whole time. The only difference between someone who is successful and unsuccessful is that the successful person just tried one more time. Think about that. The only difference between someone who is successful and not successful is that the successful person literally just tried one more time. The successful person did not quit, or they kept going when other people would give up. That is the only difference between successful and not successful people. The successful person literally just keeps going when most people quit or when most people give up. And that's true all across the board. I don't care how much status someone has, wealth someone has, how beautiful someone is. Those things help, of course, but staying power is inner. It's all inner work. That, like, to have staying power, to be of good quality, to stay relevant, as long as Jenifer Lewis has stayed relevant, and any artist, influential person, successful person who is older, that does not happen by chance. That does not happen overnight. That's not something that you can buy as staying power. That's inner. And for better or for worse, because there's someone I'm thinking of right now who is older and is in the most powerful seat in the world. But he has that inner belief in himself, for better or for worse. It works for him, kind of. Another conversation for another day. But if you know, you know. And I'm recording this on the 4th of July, by the way, so I'm just gonna leave that there. Anyway, for better or for worse, how you feel about yourself on the inside is going to determine whether or not you are able to have that staying power. It's going to determine whether or not you're able to keep going when most people stop. You have to believe in yourself. As cheesy as it is, you have to believe in yourself when no one else does. And Jenifer Lewis talks a lot about that, especially being an actress, because again, you're constantly compared to other people. She's experienced jealousy with other people. Like, she has really had to develop that really, really strong inner knowing. And she says that she was born with confidence. Like, she literally says that she does not know she's never not been as confident as she is. And I think that is huge, especially when it comes to being a woman and carrying that certain level of confidence. And like, it's everything. Like, it has literally taken her to wherever she is. And like I said, when you have that inner knowing and that inner belief in yourself, sometimes it's delusion, sometimes it's fake it till you make it. But either way, you believe in yourself even when other people don't. That is going to carry you so much further than anything else. Your name, your reputation, your aura, your energy, people sense that. And they say favor is better than money. Confidence is too. Confidence is too, because having that level of like, I know I'm the ish, even though y'all can't see it. When you believe that enough, other people start to see it. Like, it's almost like gaslighting other people and yourself into believing that, oh, you really are that special. Like, we really do need to be paying attention to you. People sense that. And so it's really important to remember, hold your head up. Like, walk with confidence. Confidence is everything, and just be really intentional about how you carry yourself. One thing I like, the main thing I think I've taken away from her is like, get up, dress up, show up. Like, if you can do those 3 things, she's very big on like dressing the part. She's from that generation where obviously our generation is very casual, very laid back. She's like that Sunday best generation. But take pride in who you are. Take pride in yourself. Take pride in how you carry yourself. Don't let anybody tell you that you can and can't do something. That is not for them to decide. That is on you. Take responsibility for your life. When I do these, I do like to throw in like a little bit that I've learned about people's diets, their routines. She says that she does not stick to any particular diet, but Jenifer Lewis does not eat a lot of meat and she does not eat a lot of sugar. So meat and sugar are the two things that she really tries not to do too much of. And when it comes to like her beauty routines, a lot of I've been saying the entire time, a lot of her like health routine kind of stuff is inner work. So she's very big on mental health. She's very big on affirmations. A part of her routine is doing affirmations every single morning. I highly recommend, you know, having things that you say to yourself, that you say about yourself throughout the day or when you first wake up in the morning. Affirmations are very, very powerful. Like I said, just getting that confidence up. If that's something that you struggle with, start with affirmations. It's going to be a game changer. But a lot of her daily routines and habits and things are a lot of inner work. She has a very holistic approach to life and to just everything. That's a huge part of my content is holistic living, because I'm someone who believes like life is a circle and everything affects everything else. How you do one thing, I believe, is how you do everything. And so it's very important to remember to have that holistic bird's eye view approach to life. She's very big on walking. Her number one exercise, she says, is walking, and just being active throughout your day, even if it's just standing up. You know, you don't have to do super high intense, any crazy high intense workout, but she really believes in moving your body as much as possible throughout the day, which I am also an advocate for. It might sound crazy, but you do get tired faster the longer you are sitting, because your body is, that blood flow is not moving. And so it is very important to make sure, even if you just stand up more throughout the day, that's something that I'm doing. It really, really helps to keep the energy up and the energy flowing, because when you are sitting and when you are stagnant, and I'm sitting right now, so most of the rest of the day, I will be standing up. Just staying on your feet as much as possible is going to actually give you more energy instead of less, and you will sleep better at night, obviously, because you will have used more energy throughout the day. So just having a very active lifestyle. Make sure that you advocate for yourself. Make sure that you get the help you need. Remember that no one is coming to save you, so you really have to take responsibility for your healing, for how you move forward. A lot of her story is like, just keep swimming. Like, do not give up. Another one of my favorite sayings by her is, you can quit most things in life. You can quit, but you can never quit being yourself. You can never quit who you are. At the end of the day, all you have is who you are. I hope that you guys got a takeaway from this video. Comment down below your favorite Jenifer Lewis role, like your favorite movie or TV show that she was in. I'm pretty sure her most recent one is Blackish. I'm not sure if she's done anything since that. She probably has. But comment your favorite Jenifer Lewis movie, TV show, play, because she has been on Broadway. Comment that down below. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Let me know your favorite influential men, women, people over 60 down below, and I might do a video on them. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I was about to say this episode because I have a podcast, but go check that out too. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will talk to you in my next one.